Hold on. Hello, everybody. This is episode 3 of Flippin Tin. I am Jacob Rouse with Longleaf Reptilia.
What's up? I am Sky of Hail the Scales. How you doing, Jake? It's nice to meet you, brother. I've heard a lot about you. Yeah, man. I heard you like to get out in the field and do weird stuff. So I want to
Yeah,
be friends with you.
yeah. No, we all like doing weird things in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what happens
Um,
in the woods stays in the woods, bro.
that's
It's
right,
like
baby.
Vegas.
But yeah, man. So episode 3, we're back again. We're on a official schedule, it seems. So that's awesome.
We're on a
Already got
benda.
Yeah, so we're gonna be on here, like we said in the last episode. We're gonna be doing this about every other week now. Already got a couple people in the chat. Shout out to our boys, Jack and Brendan.
Yeah,
They
what's up,
started a new
boys?
they started a new podcast called Beyond the Terrarium. I'm not sure if they're actually here, but they commented super early,
Yeah,
asking if they get a prize for being there 5 hours early. You do
right.
not, but we love you, and you get a shout out on our podcast.
Yeah, I'm stoked for
So
their pod, man. I can't wait for that to drop.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So definitely be looking out for that. It's Brendan Mayer and Jack Oliver,
Jack Oliver.
both very good friends of ours. They're doing Beyond the Terrarium, so definitely check that out. They drop April 1st, which is tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, Friday
Yeah,
show, baby. That's tomorrow. Y'all
yeah,
gotta tune in for that.
yeah. It's not live, I don't think, but it's gonna be there. So definitely check it out. So I don't know if they're in the chat, but hopefully they do pop in. We got Meteoric Serpents. What's up, Joe? Hope you're doing well. Ivory Colubrico, what's going on, buddy? Billy Jenkins, of course, and then Brent. Those are all the people that have
What's up,
pop
homies?
popped into the chat. Appreciate y'all coming in. Hopefully we get rowdy in the chat again.
Oh, as always.
You have anything to report for this week, buddy?
Other than me being
I think you were slacking.
other than me being a loser, I will officially report everyone is lucky. All you listeners are lucky. You get a cop out this episode, so you get another 2 weeks to get out in the field and get your first observation or your first herp. I've been tied up with work, logistics of life, and the couple days where I had a little bit of time, the weather wasn't cooperating, so I haven't been able to get out in the field like I wanted to. I still want to go out and catch up with that black racer for you guys. So you got
You
2
gotta
more
catch
weeks.
that thing, man. Come on now.
Oh yeah, when I say catch up, I mean like go face first for it in the sand. But yeah, you guys got 2 more weeks. We need some more ride-ins. You guys, we got a couple of ride-ins. We're gonna go over one for off rip really quick.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even get a couple. We got one, and he's in
Okay.
Ohio. So anybody in the Southeast who actually had some warm weather, y'all don't have an excuse, and we don't
Yeah.
appreciate that. We're doing this to encourage y'all to get out in the field, and
I-
I know some of y'all did.
Yeah,
But you
I was
didn't
gonna
tell
I
us
was gonna
about it.
bring up a couple of the people in our friend chat that did get out, and just so there is, because we know a couple more people did get out. So
Yeah.
I was gonna bring
So
them up, but yeah, we had one write-in. Do you want to go over that? You want me to read it? What do we want to do here? Rock, paper, scissors? You
I
want to do it?
mean,
I
I
got
can
it
read
pulled
it.
up right here, so it's if you want
Well,
me to read it.
then rock and roll. You got it. Go ahead.
All right, we got Snakes and Crafts. Thanks for writing in. He says, "Hey guys, liking the podcast so far. We appreciate that. I'm up here in Northeast Ohio, like Jake was saying, so no excuses for all of us other folk.
Mhm.
Doing my woods homework. No herps to report, but it's feeling like spring up here already. And the last few weeks of work, or at work, I've seen our flock of turkey a couple times. That's a lot of deer moving. Found a skull of an 8-point buck today, not 50 yards from his shop. How sick is that? He's got some coyotes that are coming around in the woods, and it just seems like he's got a lot of animal movement. He said he's got some. He's going on to look for some turtles next as soon as he gets another chance. I mean, he was at least able to get some animal observations being all the way up there in Northeast Ohio, and it's just now breaking into that springtime weather. So, you guys,
Come
no
on, man.
excuses for the rest of
No,
us. This
I mean,
is ridiculous.
yeah, come on,
And
fellas.
he's got more than one observation. He's got turkeys. He's got he went out there and he found some buck skulls. I mean, you don't just go out there and find an 8-point buck skull every day. For some people,
Yeah.
that's a once in a lifetime find. I mean,
Yeah.
that he need European mount that thing, put it on the wall, and come up with a sick story of how he killed it. Is what that's what you need to do now.
Exactly. But we really appreciate you writing in Snakes and Crafts. Your name is not on your profile, so I don't know your name, unfortunately. So hit us back up, let us know. I feel bad that I don't actually know your first name.
Yeah,
But definitely check him out. Snakes and Crafts on Instagram. He messaged us. He's the only person that messaged us about any observations. And I feel like the point of the challenge was not just for herps. There will be herp specific challenges that we will do down the road, but as far as this time of year, we know not everybody can herp. So we just want to we just want to hear what you have seen. This was just to get you out in the woods. And we really, really want to hear everybody, anybody and everybody that cares to write into us. We want to hear what you got. This isn't just about snakes, it's about getting out and enjoying your local fauna.
It's about getting in the field, man.
Yeah. So we got one write in. That's cool, but we really want a few more. We'll shout you out on the podcast. Anybody that writes in, we'll be happy to read over them. So definitely do that. And because of that, we are going to keep the challenge the same this week or for the next 2 weeks. Just get outside. It's still cold in some areas, but we had somebody in southeastern Ohio that still wrote us in. He didn't find any herps, but he had some cool observations, and that's what it's about. So get out there and tell us about what you saw, whether it's herp related or not, because we want to hear about it and we want to talk about it.
Yeah, because now we know what's going on there. It's feeling like spring out there already, and he's out there.
Exactly.
Birds moving. There are coyotes calling. He's looking. He's about to go looking for turtles, man. Come on.
I did manage to get out. It wasn't for too long because I actually it wasn't in a bad way, but I did technically get kicked out of a WMA this weekend.
Nice.
So
too much beat bopping out there. They saw you.
We're not. See, I'm actually not going to say that at all. That's going to be my challenge for myself is not say beat bopping, because I went back and listened to this podcast and I was on the last episode. I was like, God damn, I did say that a lot. So I need to not do that. I just think it's a funny phrase and I very much overused it. So that's getting cut out of the vocabulary.
It's cute,
but
bro.
No, shut up. Shut the fuck up. But so this week I actually did get to go out. There was nothing really to observe other than some really, really awesome habitat. So a buddy of mine told me about a new WMA in my area that I thought had opened up, and I visited it about 2 weekends ago, and the gate was closed. So it was closed for a hunt. So I left, didn't get to check it out. I went back this Wednesday or Tuesday, and I went in there and I went up there. It's about a 30-minute drive out, and I went there and the gate was open. So I was like, oh, word, like perfect. Like it's open, good to go. So I go in there, I'm driving down the road. I saw a bunch of turnoff spots, but I didn't go down because, I wanted to get a feel for the whole WMA, see what was what. Awesome, awesome habitat. Like it was like a slice of Florida, a lot of sand. It made me feel like I was in your areas, guy. Not gonna lie, it was a lot of like sandhill areas and longleaf pines. Amazing habitat, and there are confirmed sightings of pine snakes out here. So in my head, I'm like, dude, it's 78 degrees. Things are about to be moving. I was about to spend my whole evening out here.
Hell yeah.
So I get down to about the end. I get to the area that says, this way for, hunter check-in. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to go that way. So I'll turn off spot. And so I stopped and went down there, and I hiked a little bit and, checked the area out. Ended up being a kind of a short trail. So I was like, well, this sucks. Let me go back to one of the other ones that looked a little juicier. And I get back and I see a DNR truck by my truck. And I'm like, that's weird. Why is he stopped by my truck? That guy ended up backing out. So at first I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. And then another one pulls up from the other side. And I was like, ah, shit. So I pull up and he gets out of his truck. He's like, hey, man, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, doing good, man. Just going for a walk. What's going on? He's like, yeah, so we're not open to the public yet. And I was like, oh, oh, okay, like my bad, dude. Like my buddy told me about this. He knows somebody who works here, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, somebody else, or he's like, somebody pushed the gate open. And at first I was like, dude, I swear to God, that was not me. Like, I don't do that type of shit, blah, blah. And he's like, no, 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 you're good. We already saw who did it. We're looking for him too. I was like, okay, perfect. And
They
I'm
got
just,
that. You already know they got game cameras out there or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yep, no problem, sir. I'm just gonna hightail it out of here. No, no problems for me whatsoever." And he was super chill about it, so it was fine. But it super sucked because apparently this place doesn't open until August 1st. So it's
Dang.
definitely going to be a really good spot for late season herping.
Yeah. Late. Yeah.
October.
Fall.
Yeah, October-ish. So it should be really good. It's amazing habitat, dude. But I'm mad because like gopher tortoises are supposed to be out there, pine snakes are supposed to be out there. So I'm thinking diamondbacks might be out
Oh,
there,
one
coach whips
hundred
might be out
percent.
there. So
100%.
I'm a little irritated at that, but it is what it is. I didn't get any trouble or anything.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
good.
kind of sucked, but that was my experience out there. I didn't really, there's really not much going on where I went. I saw some little Tweety birds beat bopping around. Damn it, I said it again. Yeah, I saw some Tweety birds flying around out there, and that was about it. No herps this week. I was really busy in the snake room all weekend, catching up on a bunch of stuff.
Felt, bro. Same.
So but yeah, that was my time in the field. It didn't last very long, but it was fun. Found a new cool place that should be really dope. So pretty stoked to check it out come
Same here.
August. And when Jack hears this, Jack, you're gonna be upset. So my boy Jack Oliver from Beyond the Terrarium, he's coming to see me early April, and I think I coaxed him into coming because I told him I might have a spot and find gopher tortoises. So that place is closed, Jack. Whenever you hear this, you can text me and be mad at me. I did not know, but I have other areas we can look at. So that'll be that. And yeah. Other than that, this weekend I'm actually going to visit my buddy Gabe Schuler, and he's out towards the Francis Marion National Forest here in
Oh
South
yeah.
Carolina. So we're camping there at the end of April, but I'm going to go see him this weekend to
Nice.
do some herping. So I'm really stoked about that.
Fingers crossed you got that's all. I can't wait to get out there, man.
Yeah, I'm leaving at about probably 5 a.m. on Saturday, and it's going to be herping all day Saturday, and then most of Sunday, and I'll come on back. It's only about a 2 hour drive, so it's not too bad
Well,
at
you
all.
better bring some material back for the podcast, is all I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely going to bring some material back.
Test out
Hope,
your stuff.
hopefully, gonna take a lot of footage. Hopefully, we find some stuff that I can put together a cool video. So we'll be should be pretty good. I'm really stoked. Weather might not be the best. It's supposed to rain, might be kind of cold, but our daytime highs aren't terrible. So we got a lot of flipping to do. So we're gonna get out and flip some tin, baby.
Hell yeah. Chat's already getting live. What's up, everyone? Thanks for everyone tuning
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, we've already got some people
Uh
popping in here.
People are beat bopping around in there already for you.
I'm over all of you.
Hey, that's the chat. That's not even me, bro.
Tyson Dallas said, I walked around a sweet conservation area for a bit yesterday. Didn't find anything, but it looks so promising. Just some birds and bee popping around, of course. So, Tyson, next time you do that, message the page and tell us about it, man, so we can talk about it, in the podcast.
Yeah.
So, for sure. But anything else you got to update before we get into this?
Dude, nothing fun,
Nothing
honestly.
much.
So let's get into the potatoes, dude.
All right. So our guest is here and he is ready. As y'all know, we posted earlier. We are
Surprise
joined.
guest.
Yeah, our surprise guest. We are joined by our first guest this evening. And if you have listened to our podcast or other podcasts on the network before, you probably know this gentleman, and he is the exact type of guest that we're going to target for this show. They will vary. They're at least going to be field herpers, but we're really targeting field herpers and captive keepers. And this guy fits the bill absolutely perfectly. Me and Sky both knew from the rip that he was probably going to be our first guest.
Oh, yeah.
So we're super excited to get in here, and his name is Mr. Dustin Gron.
Yay! You're muted, buddy, I think.
Hey,
Oh,
what's
there
up,
he is.
guys?
What
How's it
up?
going, man? You doing all right?
You know, yes, sir. Just chilling, you know.
Yeah, man, I hear that. Thank you for joining us on this eve.
Yeah,
I
dude.
really appreciate you coming on to be our first guest on the show, man.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't miss it. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, we're
man,
stoked
definitely
to
looking
have you as
forward
the
to it.
first guest. Look at everyone, check out Dustin's sick background. Clearly, he takes a lot of notes from what he sees in the field to put into his enclosures because it looks like he's got a bunch of wilderness behind him in terrariums. So
Oh
clearly,
yeah.
this is the perfect first guest, you guys.
Yeah, I think it was almost pretty much right off the rip. We were like, all right, first guest. And we were both like, Dustin. We were like,
Yeah,
Dustin.
yeah,
Like,
definitely. He's got a
this
lot to
is
talk.
yeah,
Well,
Sure.
you know, I mean, I'm just a fucking dude who likes to go look for snakes and keep some cool shit at home. So,
that's
Exactly.
all. That's all we are, baby. Come on now.
Yeah, but
That's
you
all.
do a good job at it and you
Yeah,
promote good husbandry and all your animals are healthy and all of that is evident. You don't have to sit there and make a YouTube talking about it and flaunting it. You just have all you got to do is go look through and scroll through your page and follow your stuff and all right, this guy's got his stuff going on. So,
absolutely.
and you got a
hell yeah.
wide variety of stuff. So, we're
Oh yeah.
stoked to talk about everything with you. What do you want to start it off with, Jake? You want to just start beating this guy down like a freaking like an interrogation, or do we
Yeah,
want to run him? We want to give him. I feel like everyone knows who this guy is, but at the
yeah,
same time, do
he's
we?
he's been on a couple shows with us now. I know you've been on Snakes and Stogies, and you've been on THP before. But I feel like we more so focused on your captive collection and all that. So we really want to focus on more of the field herping side and how that's kind of influenced, how you keep in captivity. It's a big focus on our podcast, but we also want recommendations how you herp because you are an avid field herper and you are very, very successful at it. And so we definitely want to dive very deep into that. And so I think our first question for you, Dustin. So we're not going to do, as we've already discussed, we're not going to do the whole how'd you get into snakes thing because I feel like that's been beaten to death. So our first question for you is what came first, the captive keeping or the field herping?
I think they kind of came at like the same time.
Okay.
You know, like my family's just always had animals or fish
Mhm.
tanks or like horses, fucking pigs, chickens, you know, all that shit.
Yeah.
Grew up
And
farm
like
life.
whenever we would go camping, you know, I'd just flip every rock or log that I could to try and see what I could find. And luckily, like my parents are pretty cool with reptiles and stuff, and so like we would you know, go out actually road cruise at night when I was a little kid and
Hell
go
yeah,
actually go herping. So
nice.
Nice.
it's just like ingrained from the start, you know.
How old are you when you started, out there flipping rocks, while you were a kid?
Um, as soon as I could walk, probably.
There you go.
You
Sounds
know,
about right.
Yeah. That's
I remember
awesome.
being about like I think like one of my first memories is I think I was like 5 or 6 years old. And, like we were out on they have like a side by side a Polaris Ranger. We were just out in the desert, not even like 20 minutes from our house because I grew up out in the sticks.
Mhm.
And so we were just out cruising, and I spotted a sidewinder while we were going like 25 miles an hour as it was buried like in the fucking bank of the sand on the side of the dirt road.
Hell yeah.
Damn, dude, that's so sick. So it's so funny. You're over here like, yeah, one of my earliest memories seeing a snake in the wild was a fucking sidewinder.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy because the first snake I ever caught was like a baby yellow rat.
Yeah, dude. One of my favorite sidewinder spots is literally 5 minutes from my mom's house.
Oh my god, dude, that's
That's so
great.
sick.
I know it's kind of like, difference in where people live, like people in Australia, sometimes their first snake's a fucking carpet python or
Yeah.
Or a
brown
fucking red
snake.
belly black snake.
Yeah, like all these crazy stuff, and we're like, holy shit. Then they're like, oh my god, you see corn snakes?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's one of the prettiest snakes in the world,
It's all perspective of where you grew up and
Yeah.
area and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you have like a first herp that you caught out in the wild and brought back home as your first pet at all?
Brought back home. I remember I did that actually I kind of did that a lot with fish. So like with my dad, like we would go out to like the little man-made lakes out by um just kind of out by the house, And we'd always like I had a cast net and I would catch like bluegill and like little catfish and little bass and stuff and just put them in fish tanks back at home.
Feed them
But
lizards
then
and shit.
Yeah, and I had this one tank that had like you used to be able to buy mud puppies, fucking tiger salamanders that were still like in the larval form. And I got a bunch of those from a bait shop and like turned those into tiger salamanders in a fish tank.
Oh shit.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Damn. That's really
fucking
cool.
life cycle, baby.
Hell yeah.
So how old were you when like you got your first actual like captive snake? Like when you kept one versus like the field aspect of things. You talked about when you were 5, you saw your first sidewinder out there, but when did you start keeping as well?
Well, my dad had like Burmese pythons and stuff like that before I was even born.
Oh, so you just from the get go, you were a keeper of sorts.
He came out of the womb with snakes and chameleons.
Oh yeah, and my uncle was like a huge bluebird breeder out here.
Oh wow!
And, like started like the Tucson Reptile Show and helped start that and everything, and so it's just
it's in his blood,
part of the DNA, dude.
Yeah, it's ingrained in him.
Yeah, it's not like me at all. My mother was a animal lover, and then I popped out liking all the creepy crawlies, and nobody was having it. So
black sheep.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, so that was awesome. That's awesome, dude. So you pretty much been doing both forever, and that's
that's
cool.
Definitely.
I
mean, but like I didn't start taking like herping seriously until about like 4 years ago. Actually researching this stuff and being like, I can probably go here and find this at like this time of day.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like, taking notes and all that.
Yeah. So so you took it like for real, like about you said 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you were heavier into keeping before you were heavier into the field side of things.
Yeah, I've always had, animals. Like I've always had some lizards or some shit in my room growing up. But like I started, let's see, I'm 25 now, and I think I started to like ramp up a reptile collection when I was 19.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. So they almost came
like 6 years in.
One after the other. You started keeping heavily, then you were like, all right, time to hit the field a little heavier. Okay, cool. Awesome, man.
Just kind of just sounds like you were like, all right, reptiles are taking over my life. We're gonna balls to the wall.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, I moved down. I was like, oh fuck, I can get whatever I want.
Yeah, that's literally how it is for all. Oh my god, wait, I can have more than one snake and nobody's gonna tell me no?
I can do this now. I can just go to a show and buy something and not ask anybody.
Yeah. What the hell is this?
Oh. Cool, man. Well, we're kind of gonna start with more of the herping side of things, and I think our first question along with that is what type of gear do you plan on for just going out in your local areas as well as like a long-term trip? So start with what you bring when you're just going out basically in your backyard because you live in bumfuck nowhere, Arizona. And
bro, dude, I have like prime herping like 45 minutes away.
Yeah, that's
fucking all 3 Montane rattlesnakes, green rats, shit like that. Pyros.
I gotta get out your way, man. I know I've been saying that for like 2-3 years now, but like I gotta do it. It's gonna happen sooner and later.
I'm fucking making it a mission this year to get out there. I'm not even if I have to go into debt, I'll fucking get out there. I don't give a
fuck. I mean, you got a place to stay, so
dude, whatever. So Sky, you and I need to talk and let's work out like dates to do this. All right.
I'm down.
But yeah, so what's in your herping bag as far as gear for just getting out there for a day, and then what's in there for a week long trip? What do you got?
All right. Well, I happen to have my bag right here.
Hell yeah.
Hell
I don't know exactly. It's an Osprey. I don't know something,
Nice
but
sack.
it's fucking. I don't know. I just waited for like we have Sportsman's here. It's kind of like Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah.
I just waited for like a Labor Day sale or some shit like that, and went
There
in,
you go.
got it pretty cheap, and then it's got a place for a Camelback, so I keep a 3 liter
Okay.
Camelback in there.
Hell yeah.
Always, bro. In the desert, you always gotta have water.
Yes,
So that's a Camelback and a backpack.
Yeah, it's just got
Yeah.
like a little spot
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
just slides
yeah.
into.
That's just like the
Right
one
on the
we
back.
got too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the exact kind of that.
And it's nice. You put ice water in there, dude, and it keeps your back cool. And
Dude, that's what I liked about it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Keeps
yeah.
your ass and back warm.
And then so it's got one pocket out here, a little pocket, and a big pocket. Pretty
Yeah.
simple, small, lightweight, with like a good frame, so it's comfortable to hike 10 miles.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
And then in here, basic shit. Like I don't have so I have a first aid kit in my car
Okay.
all the time, and then sometimes I'll just throw like some bandages and stuff in here if I need that. But life straw always.
Nice.
That's one thing I need. So what on the Life Straw thing? What
Yeah.
brand is that, and where do you go about getting one?
Just life straw, fucking from Amazon,
Okay, cool.
and you can literally just put this in a little puddle and drink it.
Fuck
That's all
yeah,
you gotta do. Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely need to invest in one of those.
Yeah. dude.
I got a lighter in here. This is cool. So this connects to my hose on my Camelback, and I can just fill it up with water bottles.
Oh,
Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. He's gonna show us. See, yeah, this is I'm so excited. This is awesome.
See, this is why we
Great.
needed him as our first guest, bro.
Dustin was prepared. He said, "I got my bag right here, baby."
Yeah, he fucking.
Come on,
He's
man.
like, I'm gonna have my bag because I got to get it ready anyways. I'm like, please,
Yes.
please bring
I
that
love
shit.
it. I love it.
More items to talk about, different brands, and giving a visualization of what you know.
This is why people need to tune in live and watch the
Yep.
YouTube so you can
Yes,
see
sir.
this.
Yep.
So I use Source
Okay.
bladder, and this little thing. This is the mouthpiece. Just pops off.
Okay.
Pop this in, and then you can fill it up with water bottles. Squeeze them in there. It's nice because you don't have to take it all the way out.
Yeah.
And I've done it with
okay.
I've done it with the gallon jugs, just filling it up. Because if we're on long trips out of the car or something, you don't want to take all that shit off and take it out, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I was about to ask what the purpose of that was, but now I get it. Like if you're in the back of a truck or you're on the move, it's much easier. Just take that hose, pull it up, and pour it in versus taking your
Just
whole
fill
bag.
it up. Yep.
That's sick. So where on that little piece, is that like a certain brand, or did it come with
Yeah.
that
Source.
type of
Source hydration.
Source or source?
Source.
You're
Source
a source.
hydration.
You're a source. It's a source.
Shut the fuck up. All right, dope.
Then in the big compartment, I just keep my camera in here.
Okay.
This is just a basic ass Canon Rebel T6.
Dude, those are great cameras, man.
Super basic. And then I've just got what is this? This is a macro lens, a 105 millimeter.
105, nice.
Yeah, and then I keep a wide angle in here also.
Nice.
Sick.
And then, so I've started taking a lot of notes. And so this is a digital temperature and humidity meter.
Nice.
So this takes ambient temps.
For the ambient stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks that while you have that out, I just want to touch on this because I feel like a lot of people get confused. You can't use a laser temp gun to get any sort of ambient temperature.
No, that's just surface temps. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what you point it at. So that is what you need for any sort of ambient temp or humidity. So
and so for my notes, I'll throw this in direct sunlight and get a direct sunlight reading, and then I'll put it right where the animal that I'm taking notes on is sitting at.
So,
Sick.
Or
so
pretty
what
close.
what brand is that, and where'd you get it from?
Just Amazon.
Okay.
Prop Mix.
Okay, cool, awesome, man. That's sick. I've actually never seen one of those, so I like that
Yeah,
a lot.
Eric
I'm gonna have to
Eric
look
Burke
into
Eric Burke had one on on one of the Arizona trips. I was like, oh, dude, I need that. So,
that. Nice,
I put that
nice.
in my notes.
and then just a flash. This is that other lens.
Okay,
This is
so
a
that
Canon.
was the flash for your camera.
Yeah. And then
Okay,
just another lens. And then I'll usually I'll have like a snake bag in here, and I'll just wrap the lenses up in that.
there you go. Okay.
And I mean,
That's actually a really good thing to remember if you need something to put your lenses in, snake
uh
bags.
huh.
I never even thought of that. That's
And
perfect.
dude, it kind of say I was in an area where there's some protected snakes, and you're not supposed to have like snake bags or any kind of collecting gear,
Right,
And I just always have a snake bag
right.
in this bag. And so I when they ended up like checking our stuff, like checking our permits or our hunting licenses, and like wanted to look through our bags. And so I let them, I didn't have anything to hide.
Yeah.
But I was a little nervous about the snake bag. I was like, oh no, I just use it to wrap up my lens.
Fucking A.
Yeah, for sure.
But then Right in the Rain notepad.
Nice.
I was looking into those. That's my next purchase is the Right and Rain.
I know Eric Berg talks about those a bunch.
Yeah, that's something everybody should look into that's something everybody should look into if you're wanting to take notes out in the field. It might be raining, anything like that. Those Right and Rain notepads, they're supposed
They're
to be
nice.
they're supposed to be waterproof. They also make pencils
Yeah, the
from
pencils.
them too that do the same thing. You're supposed to be able to write if it's wet in there. Oh, you
And
got the
pens.
pencil too, baby. There you go. Nice.
Yeah, just got basically all the camera stuff in here,
Yeah.
just so it kind of stays a little bit more protected.
Yeah, for sure.
And then radios. Radios are always
Nice.
good.
Very nice.
I mean, it's fun to just stay with your friends and have some good conversations and stuff, but sometimes you're going pretty hard and you're looking for that target species, so you guys split up.
You gotta split up, man.
Oh yeah, radios are like a necessity.
That's a big thing that I want to try and work out for our camping trip this year, guys. Get some
Yeah.
radios because,
Yeah.
I would say, if you're in a big group, try and keep people in like groups of at least 2 or 3, and if there's 2 or 3 groups, make sure everybody's got a radio or a walkie-talkie or something.
And these are good. So these are UV5Rs. So these are basically little ham radios.
Oh, nice.
That's
So they
awesome.
go a little bit further than just like your traditional walkie-talkie.
And what, if you don't mind me asking, whereabouts do those run in price range?
I think it was
Pretty affordable.
yeah, it was like $50 to $100 for both of them, and like the charger, and it comes like.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, $100 for both of them. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's better than because walkie-talkies only go
100.
so far.
Yeah, I think you only
Yeah, these are good. Like I tested them out, and they're good for through some deep canyons, like a quarter mile.
Oh wow. Okay.
But flat, it was like a decent, like almost a mile. It was pretty good. They're pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's sick.
Nice.
We should definitely look into that.
Absolutely.
And then in here, just extra ammunition. I always stay protected out here. And then granola bar from last year.
Hey, my boy got a snack pack.
Always, bro.
Awesome.
With it.
So what about a snake hook? Do you carry a hook with you at all times when it's legal, of course?
Yeah. So I use 2 different hooks. When I'm hiking around, I'll use the stump ripper or the field hook.
It's been used.
And it's just a Midwest Tongs. I think it's 48-inch because I'm tall as fuck. So
yeah.
Too big for Jake.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this just a Venom Life Gear normal hook that stays in the car. This is good for I usually just use this for road cruising.
I've got the same exact hook that stays in my truck 24/7.
Yeah, this it's a little shorter. I think it's like a 32 or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And then fucking big boy tongs.
Nice. Clob shit.
Well, dude, I just keep these in the car too because it's great for if there's a neonate Atrox or something on the road.
And you're like, gotta hurry.
It's just so easy. And there's a fucking car coming, you just scoop it up.
Yeah.
Throw it off real quick. You don't have to mess with a little hook. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So
This is actually, dude. These have come in handy just road cruising for little croats so many times.
the first time I saw somebody use tongs was actually watching Austin Stevens when I was younger. I don't know if y'all have ever watched his stuff. He had a show. He's a South African guy. And he always used tongs. I never saw him with a hook, but he had a big pair of tongs or tweezers or whatever you want to call them. You know, he'd use these things to maneuver the snakes, to pin their heads if he needed to. And I was like, that's actually an awesome tool to have for like smaller species, you know? Like
Gives you that little handle on them without getting a hand on them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it comes in handy.
And I feel like those would be better than the actual like grabbing tongs. You know what I mean?
Those
like,
trip me out, man. I feel like you're just fucking a snake up using those.
Yeah,
it's nice. I feel like you have a little more control with the tongs.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I feel like you have a lot more control with the actual tweezer type tongs, you know.
And these are long. These are 24 inches. So
yeah, they look big.
Yeah. They're good for like even like adult sidewinders and stuff like that.
Yeah, nice. Now we say this: don't go grabbing, you know, an adult diamondback with those things or anything.
Yeah, no, dude. Sometimes there's been some big diamondbacks, dude, on the road where like the 36-inch hook is it feels a little small.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. When I was out in when I lived in Texas, man, I came across some big diamondbacks. Like those things ain't they're not small. They're small, and they're mad all the time. I don't know why, but they're mad.
They're mad. They want to eat you, bud.
That's sick, man. Is there anything else that, you know, is that your bag no matter what? Is there anything extra you bring for a longer, you know, weekend long trip, or is that pretty much your staple no matter anytime you go?
Yeah, that's the EDC, you know, that's what always comes with.
Nice.
For longer trips, it's just like I have like a 72-hour backpack that's stuff full of clothes.
Yeah, nice.
But I'm always hiking in pants too out here because everything's sharp and stab you.
I'm glad you said that, man, because like we talked about pants in the first episode. We had a few people be like, shorts, and I'm like, maybe I'm just a pussy, but like I'm a pants guy when I'm out there.
I wear pants and long sleeve.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
long sleeves. I don't always do long sleeves because
the sun's crazy out here.
That's true.
You need it.
Straight UV in the desert, son.
I use like just a thin like the Under Armour material that's UV resistant.
Yeah, like Under Armour or Columbia type of
like fishing shirts, son.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Nice. We should look into that, Scott. Get some Flippin Tin, like, you know, Columbia style shirts. That'd be sick.
I don't know about Columbia's, but I'd be down for some long sleeves, like the thin long sleeve.
Yeah, there's I know what you're saying.
Like the sleek ones, like the were you talking about like a button up style?
I mean either one.
No. Just like the synthetic material.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm blanking on the actual thing, the actual term that it's called, but I know what you're talking about. Everybody else will know too. Those breathable ones. We'll have to
methane glass.
Yeah.
No, not that. Not that.
Not that one. No.
Nope.
Dry fit. Billy said it. That's it.
Yeah.
Dry fit. That's what we're talking about. And that's what I do. Like when I fish a lot down here, and if you're out on the water, it's a lot similar to being out in the fucking desert when there's no shade anywhere. Dude. It's just sun down on you. I've gotten 3rd-degree burns just from
it's just like reflecting off the water onto you too. Yeah,
it's terrible. Man. Yeah, so I wear long sleeves and sunscreen. So
sunscreen is also like it's a necessity out here.
Yeah, dude. For us, it's bug spray. Like we have a lot of trees around here, so normally the sunburn isn't terrible. But man, the long sleeves for the bugs, sun, and then bug spray on top. Oh
yeah, boy. I'm pretty thankful we don't have like ticks or anything out here.
Oh, dude. You come herp with us. You need to come herp with us. You'll find out real quick.
No, thank you.
That's rough.
So do you do anything special to plan for like a herp trip for like a 72-hour herp trip before leading up to it, or do any
Um,
fasting or anything
well,
special for luck?
no, I mean, no rituals or anything like that. But
Okay.
You
I've been
don't
on a
have one
few.
pair of underwear that you don't wash every
The
time you
lucky,
go.
the
Yeah, like,
whole herping season. That's the only pair I hike in.
They
Don't
never
wash
hit
it.
the washing
you
machine.
could literally smell them outside the house. Oh,
No,
Oh,
but I've been on a few trips with Rob Stone now, and that dude is a master planner.
oh
And
God,
so
yeah.
Justin Justin came out, I think it was a year or two ago, and it was just him. Or no, it was the Chuck. He came out with Chuck and his buddy um Steve. Oh God, please don't kill me if I got that name wrong.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came out and like I planned that trip, and it was just so you kind of want to have like your set targets, plan for a couple days in there, but also have some backup plans that are pretty close
Yeah.
because you don't want to miss those prime times to be road cruising or hiking or anything like that. So and it's I don't know, it's kind of it's fun to base those trips off like a feeling too,
Oh
just
yeah.
leaving it open. You know, if you start finding all your target species, which we kind of did that trip, like we found a lot of stuff. I think I got like 5 new lifers or something
Damn,
in
Damn.
my home
Hell yeah.
state.
that's crazy,
That's
dude.
sick.
That's
And so
awesome.
it's fun to just go off that gut feeling, like, oh, we're doing good. Like, fuck it, let's drive an hour to this mountain range and go over
Yeah.
here and try and get something cool.
And that always it always makes you feel better. Like it's cool like having a plan, but when you're just kind of running off the cuff and it's successful, oh man, there's no better feeling in the world.
Oh
We're
yeah.
like, fuck it, let's just hit this spot and see what happens. And all of a sudden it's one after another, man.
hmm
It's killer.
And dude, so on that trip, I got my lifer green rat,
Oh
and
Oh,
God.
so we had like road cruise this road late at night. It was kind of like our last stop of the night. We hit a couple other spots. Didn't really find much, and it's like, okay, we can camp right up here. Just park off the road. We'll fucking sleep. Get up early. Um, Steve and Chuck had to leave early that next morning. I was like, we can wake up and just road cruise. And so everything, it was the last day of the trip. Everyone was tired, so we were going kind of slow, and I was antsy. I wanted to go road cruise and go look for some stuff. And I told myself, I was like, dude, we had a great weekend, incredible weekend, great friends. You know, these lifelong memories are just gonna be with me forever. And so got myself to calm down, and like as soon as we all got done packing up and pulled out of our campsite, like 5 minutes down the road, dude, this beautiful little green rat's just chilling right in the middle, waiting for
Oh
us.
my God, dude.
freaking cherry on top, dude.
Yep.
Uh,
So sometimes
see,
you just got to go with the flow and just ride it out, dude. And it'll pay off.
and
I,
that's the thing, man. Like everybody talks about herping, finding stuff, blah blah. But there's so much. Obviously, there's some skill that goes into it, but like in that scenario, like you're antsy to get out. If you would have left an hour earlier because you were antsy, you probably wouldn't have seen
Dude,
that snake.
fucking
You know what I
20
mean?
minutes earlier, we wouldn't have seen
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It's all about right place, right time. And
Yep.
you have to realize, and that's why, like, every time I see a snake, I mess with it, photograph or whatever. This is gonna sound dumb and it's gonna sound like I'm a fucking hippie, but every time I find a snake and I release it, whatever, I say thank you. Because it's one of those things of like, if I wasn't right there, right then, this snake would not have blessed me with his presence.
oh yeah,
And
dude.
Yeah.
it's such a thing that you got to remember. Like, there is skill that goes into it, but there's a whole lot of luck that goes into it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you're not at that spot at that exact time, you're not going to find that lifer. And
Yeah.
Dustin, if you would have pushed everybody to get going quicker, you probably wouldn't have found that lifer green
Nope.
rat.
Definitely not.
Like, oh man, that's so sick, man. That's freaking awesome.
Brandon said the 95-degree spec.
Oh, that story.
Yeah.
He said that story.
Oh yeah, that was a fun day.
Well, let's hear it.
All right, so I had spent a lot of time in Phoenix looking for specs and can't find them for some reason there. But Brandon lives there and has seen them, and he's like, let's go look for some orange specs a little bit further away, kind of more west. And so we go up there. We get up there a little early, fucking eat some food, and it's neither of us had been there before. So I was like, hey, let's go. Let's just go. Drive the roads we want to drive right now, so we can kind of get a lay of the land because it looks a hell of a lot different when it's dark out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I talk
And
about
it's
that
maybe we
too. I
can see
always
like
go scoop it, scope
yeah,
it,
and maybe there's a wash in like a specific area where you want to like hit a
slow
little
down,
harder
and
than
yeah,
certain
hit like
areas.
tight
Yeah.
passes.
And so we go there, dude, and as soon as we like get on the freeway, like as soon as we get into like the spot where we want to start looking, there's a fucking this huge speck on the freeway. Yeah, dude, and it's like 95 degrees out, and it's just chilling on the fucking asphalt. Brandon slams on his brakes, barely misses it, pulls over, and we get this thing off the freeway.
Oh my
And
god.
what
But
time of
it's
day was
fucking
that?
it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours before sunset.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so we were like, we're just gonna hit this
Holy
shit before
shit.
sunset,
Yeah.
and that way we're just there already as the sun's setting.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want for sure.
Yeah, and
Was
dude,
it?
we
Holy
were like,
shit.
we
Do you
were
know
so
if there was
fucking
any
shocked.
rain or anything previous that day that it may have pushed it out, or was it just all
No,
Looking
hot
dry.
that
not
day?
nothing like within the week or anything like that I can
No.
remember.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy, dude.
God, man. Again, that's like I'm sure that's why you brought it up. It's just right place, right time, you
Yeah,
know?
but
Yeah.
dude, this thing was hot because it was so hot out and it was sitting on the asphalt. Brandon's like, I don't know, 4 feet above it, just taking a cell phone pic, and this thing levitates off the ground and comes within like it seemed like inches from him, dude.
Yeah.
Being safe, like we're not in its
Right.
face or anything like that. Just that first picture you take, right when
Yeah.
you find it.
Yeah, for sure.
But that
That's
thing was scary.
it's
I had to ask him.
funny.
I was like, "Are you like?" I was like, "Double check yourself. Make sure you're not like you don't have like a pinprick of blood."
Right.
Damn it, man. It's funny, dude. Like that's the type of stuff you notice. Like they'll be out there in scenarios like that when it's extra hot, but man, you find a rattlesnake on a day that it's extra warm, you
Oh,
know the difference.
hmm
You see the difference.
full operating temperature.
Yes. Yes.
Freaking dragon mode.
Yeah, they're pissed.
It's funny, dude. That was the only snake we found.
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
Wow.
We were like, fuck yeah, it's gonna be a good night. Like shit's already moving. Luckily, it was what we went to go look for.
Yeah.
You
So at
know,
least you
and
got
we were
your
like, hell
target.
yeah, I got the target out of the way. Like it's gonna be a good night. We're gonna find a bunch of common stuff. Nothing.
I've
There was like
Dude.
I think we saw like two DORs and that was it. And we fucking road cruised for like 5 hours.
dude,
Damn. Do you
that's
remember what the DORs were by chance?
Yeah, it was like a ground snake and a patch nose or something.
Damn.
And those were like 4 hours apart from each other. It was like one at the beginning, one at the end.
wow.
Damn.
That's crazy, man. And it's all about, it's so funny. Like there's times that like you start off like great and you're like, boom, here's the rest of the day. We got
Hmm
this. And then you get skunked. We had like, I went road cruising. I took Justin road cruising one of my spots one time. And it was like the opposite. I went on my main road and we didn't find anything for 2 hours. Nothing showed up. And I was like, all right, like, we gotta do something else. So I went to a different road up the road right off the rip. They were all DORs, unfortunately, but we found a massive cane brake dead. We found the biggest copperhead I've ever seen in my bumfuck life dead on there. I'm talking, dude. I'm telling you, this
Fuck.
thing was like 4 feet long. It was huge. Anybody, in my area, copperheads. There's a lot of them, and they're usually, a good sized copperhead is 3 foot. This thing was pushing 4, dude. Is the biggest copperhead I've
Yeah.
ever seen. Guts just splattered on the freaking road. And then I think another copperhead and something else was dead. And I was like, dude, like this is bullshit, because I knew this was a good night. But for whatever reason on my road, they weren't moving. But obviously out here they were. And again, it's all right place, right time, man.
Yeah.
Like you gotta guess.
70% luck, 30% skill.
Exactly. It's a great
60%
song.
of the time, it works every time.
Absolutely. So I guess on that note, you're talking about different areas. What for anybody listening who's, kind of starting to get in the field herping, what advice would you give somebody if they're looking to find a good area to herp, or a new area to herp if their spots aren't working out for them?
Yeah, just I mean, start local, like look for like a local park or
Okay.
something. And like we've got a recreational area that's at the foothills of the mountains. It's like 50 minutes from my house, and that's one of my favorite spots to go.
Nice.
It's
Hell yeah.
local. You can find a bunch of cool stuff there, and it's actually really good herping, you know. But if you want to start, just the best way to start is just go.
Yeah.
You can join I don't know, herpers can be kind of dicks sometimes.
Thank you for being
There's
honest about
Yeah,
it.
I
yeah,
mean,
dude.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Like there's so many times like on the herping groups on Facebook and stuff, I see some new person like, oh, like what should I do? Blah blah blah, and everyone's like, oh, we're not giving up spots. No one will give up spots.
Fuck
Read a
no.
book. Like
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the first guy to tell you like this road I have a lot of success on, but I always encourage people just like to get out,
yeah,
find rural roads, find WMAs, stuff like that. I'll tell somebody about a WMA as long as because it's public land, If I have
hmm
a specific road that provides, something really rare, no, I'm gonna keep that to myself. But if it's a public place, I don't mind telling somebody who doesn't seem like a piece of shit. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
But also there's a level where like if there's something specific you want to find, just do some research on it. Like get a field
yeah,
guide, start reading about the stuff that you have locally and what kind of conditions and what kind of habitat you can find it in. And I mean, iNat is a good resource, iNaturalist. Just
absolutely.
look on there. It's it's helped me a lot.
It's always a good tool, man. I always go back and forth about it, but it's such a good starting reference point. Like I wouldn't rely on it, but it's always such a good starting reference point if you aren't
Yeah,
going to use
I mean, it
anything
gives you like
else.
a generalized location to start.
I just used it frick 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had some rainstorms hitting, and my buddy hit me up about some shit, and I was like, "Hold on, let me go check on iNat just to see how far away from my actual location this drive would be and everything, or where's the closest sighting." Turns out, literally exactly an hour from my house, there was 4 freaking confirmed sightings. So I was like, dude, this helped me because it's like, all right, now I know where to go the next time this certain weather pattern comes through, and all I got to do prepare is fucking a road trip, an hour road trip, and some good music, and I'm fucking about to go find some lifer amphibianthos.
Hell
So
yeah.
It's all about, iNat is really good. Like, you never want to go to the exact spot because a lot of people on iNat, like, they'll find something in their yard and they
Yeah.
might be in a suburban area, but at least gives you a general, for example, like,
Mhm.
I need to find a brown water snake in South Carolina. I found one in Florida, but I'm going through my South Carolina list, and if I find something in another state, I don't count it for my South Carolina list. So I was looking at iNat for where brown waters are because Chris Montross was telling me like you should have brown waters in your area, and so I went on iNat and I was like, well, where the fuck are these things? Turns out they're about 45 minutes out of my exact county, but they're here. They're definitely, you can get them here, but they're not in my exact area. You got to go a little bit out of the county, out of the way a little bit, like I said, about 45 minutes. But iNat gave me that general area of where I could find them. Like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not going to go down this exact road where somebody happened to see one in their yard,
hmm
yeah,
but I know the general area now. And then you use that to find roads and swamps that they could be at because they're in that
Can,
area.
while you're on that, because I want to hit on that more, because what I did actually, this is what you got to do when people say iNat research. Exactly what Jake's saying. When someone finds something that you don't know where exactly they're going to post it, they could, post it away from the location that they actually found it as a deterrent, or it's someone that's so nonchalant about what they're doing that they're actually posting the exact location in their
Right.
backyard. So what you would do is if you were saying, we'll go to my scenario, there was 4 sightings. So what I did was looked at those 4 sightings, went back to my Apple Maps, turned on the satellite, went to that general area on my Apple Maps with the satellite. Then I was able to look at the landscape, seeing that there's a river, a couple roads that run right along the river, of which would have been probably people's backyards or private land of where they had these sightings. So it's like, all right, I can go cruise these couple roads, which is in that exact area, which is the waterway that they're on. So
Exactly.
that's how you would correlate those two things and use it as a tool, just to kind of go into it a little bit deeper, just for some other people, because I know
Yeah, definitely.
it's for a lot of us, it's like nonchalant. You don't think about it. We make that connection, but the amount of messages I get throughout the week about stuff that doesn't make sense to people, I just want to get it out there for everyone, so you know how to use these tools, because the more you get out there and the more you can find, the funner it is. Like, I'm so stoked to get out there and cruise these roads now, and I know exactly where they're out because of that method I just told you about.
Hell
Exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out for my first time this weekend. So
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Tell right in the Flippin' Tin, man. Tell us what you find. We can talk about it
hell
next
yeah.
We'll
week.
definitely talk about it.
That'd be awesome, you know. But along those lines, if you're looking for say you're looking for a specific species, obviously use INAT and all that. What
Mhm.
kind of things, do you look at a map to look for roads that look like there's no houses around, or how do you
Yeah, you
find
can
a
just
specific road for road cruising? If we're
you
talking
can
about
just use
that,
like so Google Maps has like a pretty good satellite
okay,
like imagery, you know. So
yeah,
you can go out there and like look for like different roads to go and like different canyons to hike and stuff like that.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
use something to find a general location, any kind of resource like a book or INAT or anything like that, and then just go get out there. Like there's days where I'll spend 8 hours just fucking hiking around. I'll hike up a canyon, go back to my truck, drive to the next canyon, hike that, come back, take notes on fucking on the weather, on the heat, like the temperatures. If I do see anything, what it was doing.
yeah.
So while you're on that, really quick, how often do you go out? Say that, call that a kind of scouting trip where you're going out doing stuff like that. Say you don't see anything at a couple locations, but in your mind, things are looking prime and the area is looking good. How often are you like wanting to go back to that, or if you don't see something, are you just like, okay, whatever, or are you a let me hit it and repeat it a bunch of times and see if I get success if
Oh
it's
yeah,
looking
you can't
prime?
like you can't just hit someplace once and just write it off. I maybe I won't go to that exact spot next time. I'll go to the next canyon, but I'll always try to come back to it and circle back and just see what's going on that day.
Yeah, because I always try to promote that too. Because man, there's been so many times where I've hit it a couple spots multiple times and not had luck, and then it's that right place, right time, right weather pattern scenario where it might have
Hmm.
felt good that one day, but we were looking at XYZ, but we forgot about M, which was the moon cycle, and
Yep.
that may have been throwing stuff off. So that might have been why you didn't see stuff that day. But the next time you go back, you got XYZ checked off again. And without thinking about it, M was checked off. And
Yep.
that's the time you're going to see some shit. So that's why I always tell people you got to freaking repeat until, I would say, like, if you go to a certain spot and you hit the same certain spot 12, 15 times and you don't see nothing, you can officially write that off.
Yeah,
But
dude, and it's like it's impossible to plan for anything.
yeah,
Because say there's this specific canyon I hiked one day, and I didn't see anything. Well, so if I go to the next canyon, maybe the snake that was here or in the next canyon I went to the one I was at yesterday.
exactly.
Like it's impossible to plan for any of that kind of stuff. It's impossible to like to to try and nail it down. You just got to go and just honestly just keep going.
And
Exactly.
I also think there's something to be said for scouting areas in like the off season, whether it be winter or bad days, if you have time, even if it's not a great herping day, there's something to be said for going to an area and at least like scoping it out, like granted, I went to a WMA that was not open, this week, but it was good to get out there and at least see the habitat and know that it's a good area, to check out and see what's going on out there. If you don't find something, if you know your habitat, you know what to look for, you can at least keep it in the back of your head, like, okay, this is another place I need to come check out during a better time of year, season, time of day, whatever. But you get a better feel for a habitat. If I'm gonna road cruise a road, I prefer to go out there when I'm not actually road cruising, so I can look, and have time to go look at other areas, because I'll find a general area of that I want to check out, and I'll go out there in the middle of the day to check out the road and the habitat, see what's going on. That way I have time to see if I want to do this during the right time, or if I want to look at other areas. You got to look at it as a whole, not just don't say I want to hit this road and then go during prime time, because you might be, to be honest, you might be wasting your time, because just because on a map it looks good doesn't mean it's going to be great when it's prime time, so take your time, go out there when you have time to check out a few roads, find what you think is best, and then spend your time road cruising in prime time in the areas that you think will be best. And not saying it'll provide, but if you know what you're looking for, it'll help you. You know what I mean? Like, don't go out there with the full expectation of finding something. Go scope it out. Take some time, even if it's not a great time of year, time of day, whatever. And check it out.
100%.
And dude, like I just love hiking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love getting out. Like I love Southern Arizona so much that it's like I enjoy seeing cool cactus, like finding rare cactus and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
I like
dude.
Oh,
I
I
love
even
cactus.
bro, I like birding a little bit,
dude.
Like I don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but fucking birds of prey are cool. I've seen some
Me and
cool
this
ass
fool,
fucking
bro.
dude. I've seen
That's
like
literally what I tell him. I'm like, bro,
there was
why are
one
we the
day,
only
oh
ones,
bro, there was
bro?
one day like the birds that we saw on the herping trip were the cherry on top. My homie from California
Yes,
came out.
dude.
He really wanted to see Willardi. Like it was super late season. We hiked all fucking day. Finally found one at like the end of the day, and we're coming back. We see a greyhawk in a tree, and then a pair of elegant trogons, which are
Dude.
like one of the number one birds to see in southern Arizona.
That's
And we
crazy.
saw a mating pair. Like it's one of the best. Like I've seen a few. I've heard a bunch. I've seen a few, and usually just quick glimpses. This pair was like sitting in a perfect spot to look at them and watch them just chilling next to each other.
That's so sick.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Because, like, dude, I don't, some herpers are like, birding. That's stupid. I love birds, dude. Like, I
Dude.
especially like
Dude,
wading birds.
yeah,
Around here, we get a ton of wading birds. Birds of prey. And you learn a lot just by watching birds and stuff, man. Like we get some really cool birds of prey around here. You want to see me geek the fuck out over a bird just as much as I do a snake? Let me see a swallowtail kite.
Oh my
Like
god, yeah, I forgot you love those kites.
I
I love
love
that.
I love swallowtail kites. Any of those birds of prey, man, that you don't see a lot. Because swallowtail kites are, I don't remember if they're endangered, but they're definitely threatened. You don't see a lot of them. I've only seen them here, I think, twice.
Really?
You
We
know,
get a lot in my area, dude.
y'all get a lot more cool stuff down there. All the stuff that's like hard to see around here, y'all are like, oh, we see it on every Tuesday.
Yeah, I see
Like,
a lot of kites, and I actually just seen a spoonbill like fucking 3 weeks ago, dude. I was so stoked. Spoonbill is one of my favorite wading birds out here.
so I
And
actually can see a lot of spoonbills.
really,
Spoonbills aren't hard for me to find, but those kites, we get Mississippi kites a lot. I see quite a few of those, but the swallowtails are a little bit harder to come across.
dude, people don't realize you can use birds of prey as a tool while you're out herping, man. When I was
Absolutely.
just out last time, fucking red shoulder hawk was sitting on top of a dead pine tree squawking off, and he's literally looking over dried grass, grassy area, but it was just a dried out water area. So it's like, kind of like split mud and a couple dried up mud puddles and a bunch of sawgrass and shit. And he's literally just scoping, dude. And I see him go out. I didn't see what he catch, but he was just out there soaring around in the sky watching shit. So it's like, you can use the birds of prey as a tool. If they're out there scoping and watching, it's a prime time for other stuff, which is their prey. What we're targeting is moving. So, we're all me and us and the birds of prey, we're all looking for the same thing.
And Mike actually made a good point. And birds of prey around means there's prey for snakes, because a lot of them they eat the same stuff. Now, mind you, birds of prey will eat snakes, but a lot of times they're looking for those
The
small rodents too.
grasshoppers and the
Yeah, but they're looking for those small rodents, small insects, all that type of stuff. Same type of thing snakes are gonna look for.
yeah.
So Yeah.
Still,
But plus birds are just fucking dope.
and,
So.
yeah, and birds.
How
Are
did we
dope.
get? I thought this was a herping podcast. How did we get talking about
Sorry,
herping?
yeah. Let's get back on track.
Hey, Dustin, you brought up birds. You cannot
Dude,
blame
I
me for
love
what happened.
everything. I love everything. Fucking bugs, plants, birds.
Yeah,
Rocks.
I'm the same way, dude.
We're fauna
Like,
people, man.
yeah, and again,
Even
like
if-
this is a field herping podcast, but again, it goes into our challenge of just get out and see what you see. Like this is about promoting, enjoying your local fauna, no matter what it is.
Yeah, even if I'm not taking like pictures of snakes because I'm not finding shit, I'm
taking
taking
pictures of
like,
birds.
rocks, bro, rocks. Like
Oh,
make
yeah.
cool backgrounds,
Yeah,
Dude, definitely.
Yeah, just habitat
Definitely.
pictures are great, man. I need to put together a video, but I went out to one of my favorite WMAs, and I didn't see it. I only saw one snake, but I found several alligators, some frogs, and stuff. But I also took a bunch of habitat videos. Just as I'm driving by, just take the phone out, take a video of the habitat. Just because it's cool, man. Enjoy what you got while we got it.
Exactly. I got a question that kind of correlates with what we're kind of going over right now too. Is so like when you're out targeting certain spots to go, or even out scouting, are there certain indicators like in the area, whether it be weather, prey items of a target species, certain movements of insects, time of year, any kind of indicators like that in certain areas? And does that change in different areas that you go to by chance?
So it's kind of hard to like pick like a specific.
Yeah, I know it's a
Um,
loaded question, but you can kind of
yeah.
hit on
So
that with whatever you got.
if
It's supposed to be broad because I know that's pretty broad.
yeah, so if I'm going for like a new species, it's pretty hard to like target a specific weather pattern or like temperature or anything like that. So I'll just kind of go off general, like something that's generally good. I'll try to
Yeah.
hit it at that time.
Like, oh, the
But
golden hour. Let me go at golden hour to try
yeah,
it out.
yeah, but I'll target like two species for the year, like two new species. So it's I can just focus all my time and energy in one spot, one
For
specific
sure.
area, well, one specific tactic, whether it's hiking or road cruising. And then I'll pick two or three so that way when I get fucking fed up and tired of getting skunked in this one spot, I can go to somewhere else.
Yes.
And
Absolutely, man.
just do that, and I'll hit it at all times. I'll spend a whole day out there. I'll spend 8 hours hiking,
Yeah.
so I can get morning temperatures. I can get midday temps. Sometimes I'll throw a hammock in the backpack so I can just take a nap out there
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
like in the heat of the day and just hike my way back to the truck. There's been times where I'm down by the border and like I'll hike a couple miles into Mexico.
That's
There you go.
And fucking make my way back.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to be said for that, especially when you're looking at if you're looking for a species that, not a lot of people have found, there's not a whole lot known about it. You
Mhm.
can't just wait for the norm of, the golden times, like golden hour of,
Yeah.
30 minutes before, 30 minutes after, you can't
Yep.
wait for the rain, because if there's not a lot known about that species, then you can't just bank on those because that specific species or locality, whatever, may not prefer that.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
might like the heat of the day, and so you got to go out there and try. That's why we promote. Just get out there and try. Because you never know what you're gonna find. Because even in those times, you will find the stuff of like, oh, like I didn't expect to find this right now. Like the picture I posted on Flippin Tin the other day of that massive mud snake I found. There was no reason I should have found that at that time. This thing was, granted, I was kind of near a swamp land area, but I was 100 yards from the swamp. It was the middle of the day. It didn't just rain, but this thing just so happened to be there. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't any reason it should have been on paper, as far as what but if you don't get out there and try, there's no chance. So, whenever you have time, just go, because you never know what you're going to find. These things, we know the best times of year, best times of day to go, but that doesn't mean they're going to abide by that every time.
No,
Like these
sure.
things are wild animals. You never know when they're going to be they're going to be moving. And Scott said there are always stupid ones. Like, it's true, like it's how it goes. You never know. So if you have time, even if it's not perfect time of year, perfect time of day, just go. There's been days we thought we weren't going to find nothing road cruising, but we went because we had time and we found 30 snakes, just because, I couldn't tell you why, but we did. So,
Bro, so when I found one of the rare snakes in Arizona, a Chihuahuan hooknose snake,
oh God.
it was after a day, just a long ass day of getting skunked in like two different mountain ranges that are an hour apart from each other. And we just happened to stop in this one little area and just were flipping rocks, chasing frogs, because it's next to an area there's a bunch of leopard frogs.
Yeah.
And so we're just like, fuck you, we haven't found anything. Let's go get something,
Right.
Let's go check out this little spot and flipping rocks, dude. We found one. Me and my homie Alex. Fucking, and it's like you never flip them. You always road cruise them like while it's raining, which is like super specific,
Yeah.
And they're
Right.
super hard to find. A lot of people find them, and we're out there all day, and we're like, let's just check this one last spot and just kind of chill. And we flipped one.
Great. Caught it on a rare.
Yeah, it was like
like
it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like 90 degrees out, and this is some super crazy fossorial snake that only comes out when it's super humid and blah blah blah, and like sometimes you just can't follow like what everyone says, you just gotta get out there and sometimes you gotta get lucky.
right.
That's right, man. Because that's again, man. They're 30% skill, 70% luck, or 40% skill, 60% luck. Like that just goes into it, man. A lot of it's just luck. And again, if you don't try, you never will.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad time, man. If you got time, just go do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when it is, time of year, time of day. Just go try, because you won't do it if you don't. I'm fine. Again, the whole. I'm a big fisherman. Everybody knows, and it's the same thing. A bad day fishing is better than a good day at work. Same thing. Bad day at herping's better than a good day at work. So just get out there and do it. It's awesome. So, but
Brandon
moving on.
says,
Go ahead.
real quick, Brandon says Hawkeyes with Xanthic hog.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Telling all the stories. You got to keep something a secret. No, so we can find Mexican hognose pretty close to us, and that was I had found one before, but Brandon really wanted to find one, and so we spent. They can be pretty tricky to find, so we spent like this is another time. We spent what we thought was like the prime time to go look for them. We spent like 4 or 5 hours road cruising like different areas. We were calling each other and like. So I finally called him. I was like, dude, it's getting hot. Like, let's go up into the mountains, see if we can find anything there. Like, where are you at? And so on my way to meet up with him, while I'm on the phone with him, trying to find where he's at, I'm like, oh shit, hog. I just see it out of the corner of my eye. And I'm just like, all right, hold on, I'll get out. I get out, run to it. And I'm like, oh fuck, bro. I think this thing's an axanthic. I was like, no, like, oh no, it's just in shed. And I was like, no, it's an axanthic. Like, and I just started fucking freaking out. And he was like, end of the day, we're meeting up to go to some new spot, and there's our target, and it's an extra special one.
And it was an axanthic.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Fucking wild.
This spot's like it's known to like produce some axanthics from time to time, but they're not super common.
Still, yeah, finding any sort of wild morph is fucking awesome.
I remember when you told us about that and you sent me the pictures and shit, dude. I was losing my fucking mind about that snake, dude. Like that is so cool, I still I dream of the day that I find a wild morph of some kind. Like that must be the most insane thing ever, dude. And
Yeah,
Scott,
it was like a pretty surreal experience, you know.
absolutely, yeah.
I was talking to some old heads that have been herping that area forever, and they're like, yeah, I mean, back in the day it was like one in every 100, but that's also when you would find 5 hognose in a day. When I find
Exactly.
like a couple a season now, you know.
Right.
That's freaking
Right.
wild.
That's crazy, man. And Scott said the only albino I ever found was in my backyard. Sometimes that's how it
Oh,
goes, man. Like it's literally again luck of the draw, dude. You know,
That's so wild.
that's how it goes, man. You know, again, you don't get out there, you won't know. You know, that's how it goes.
yeah, it's just like gambling, you know.
It's exactly what it is, you know. You know, because the other day I was struggling, like when I went out and got kicked out of WMA, I was like, you know, I gotta feed baby snakes, and I'm going on a trip this weekend. Do I really want to use the gas to drive out there, 40 minutes and then drive back? And I was like, again, it hit me of like what we preach on this podcast. I was like, if I don't go, I'm definitely not going to find anything. So fuck it, I'm gonna go. You know, I'm gonna use the gas, get out there and try something. And I didn't find anything, but I found a really cool area. I got kicked out of it, but I found a really cool area, so it worked out. And you gotta waste the gas, you gotta spend the money. But it's all worth it in the end once you find that species you've always been looking for.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Hell, even if you find anything, it's not necessarily about the lifer. It's not about, a new species. It's just about getting out there and seeing something.
Making
Dude,
It's
it's about
always,
getting out there with like the people you love too.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, getting out there with some
absolutely.
homies and just making
Yeah, dude,
funny
there's
ass
nothing better
memories.
than that.
Even if you don't find nothing, you're stuck in the car for however long the time period was you're together, and you're either talking shit, listening to good music,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
And see,
all kinds
that's
of crazy shit. You know,
the snakes you find. If you go out there again, I do a lot of herping by myself because Justin's a bitch. Um, But so I do a lot of herping by myself. But if you go with friends, man, the stuff you find is just icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Like
dude, how many
the
times
memories are so worth it.
when
Just
you're with your
by
homies
itself.
and you find a snake, it's always a fucking celebration. Like
Dude,
you're
right?
you're doing dances, everyone's grab assing, freaking jumping around, screaming. Like it's never not a good time. He hasn't been in the chat at all. Then he pops up out of nowhere like a ghost. He was freaking filming corn stars and somehow heard that shit and popped in.
Yeah, no, but that's what it's about, man. Like you remember when we found when I happened to find that king snake whenever we were out
Oh
there
my
all together, dude.
bro.
Everybody lost their fucking
That was
minds,
a fucking party,
like
bro.
that was insane, man. Like
When me, Preston, and Aiden got that coach whip, dude, I still have the video. We're literally all dancing, but when my
God,
video starts, it's literally Aiden's face when he's like mid scream and jump. So it's like my video starts when he's like, dude, it's the funniest shit ever. But it's like, bro, you would not, if I wouldn't have pulled my phone out, no one would know how fucking hyped we were. Like that energy, dude, when you're together
oh,
with your
dude,
homies and you can
yeah.
bring a task to hand, there's no fucking feeling like it, dude. I mean, it's so sick because I get hyped. Like you said, we go herping by ourselves a lot. And there's times, dude, the last coach whip I caught by myself, it was a little embarrassing after because I like had that full on fucking moment with Mother Nature and myself. And I was all fucking stoked and I'm talking out loud because I'm thinking I'm out in the woods by myself and I fucking let this thing go and I like go to get back on the trail and here comes this dad and mom and their kids and I'm just like, oh, so you guys didn't hear all that? You guys did you hear that? You heard all
Yeah,
that? Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna walk that way. All right, there's
I'll
a snake over there.
see y'all later. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. If you can go out with people you love, it makes it all that much better. Like the memories you make doing it are amazing, and then finding stuff on top is just icing on the cake. It's a great time. Just the
Yeah,
friends and relationships you make. Like I said, I think in 2023 I herped with Skylar more than anybody, and he lives 5 hours away from me. Like which is wild, but we made it happen and it was a great time, always, every time, I don't, like I said, knock on wood, I don't think we ever got skunked.
No,
We
I
always
got wood
found
right here, so I'm
something.
knocking on it because we had every
No.
time so far. Anytime anybody's come down to see me, they haven't got skunked, which has been a fucking blessing because I'm
Yeah.
kind of far from anybody that comes to see me. So it's hard for me to like try to put in the day's worth of work leading up to them coming up because I'm usually
Right.
working my ass off before whoever comes down so we can put in all that time. So it's like I'm really banking on whatever area we're going to go hit to produce or whatever roads we're going to go cruise. And thank God they always do. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's fucking awesome. We always have a good time. But even if we didn't, we're still laughing,
Yeah.
joking, and,
We're still having a grand old
having
time,
a grand time the whole time. So, but, when Dustin gets back, I wanted to, while we're kind of like at this section of the talk, there's a couple good, all right, while you're here, while we're talking about this, dude, and we're kind of talking about stories, friends, and people we love, and what the whole purpose behind what drives us to go herping. Give us two stories, one of these three, your favorite, your scariest, or your craziest. Give us two of those of your herping stories. I don't care if it goes back to when you're 5 years old or yesterday or whatever. We want to hear some new stories because this is what drives us to keep doing this stuff. So
Yeah, so the scariest story is probably that spec one with Brandon.
just
That shit
coming up and
was,
about almost
yeah, dude.
biting him after he
That
let
was,
him hit it.
He almost got fucking nailed.
Fucking
yeah.
David Blaine up off the ground.
Oh
Fucking,
yeah, dude. Hey, just give me 1 second.
you're good. You're good.
You're good. So Scott mentioned in the chat, he sent me a picture. Let me look at this species.
It has to be Darwin if he found an albino, right?
No, it's not. It's definitely not a
Oh,
not
it's
a
not a
carp.
carpet python?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, okay.
Actually, Scott. Okay, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. If somebody, no, okay, I will. Anna
Anomalopsis.
Malapas verexi.
You got to say it with an accent, man.
Veroxi. So he's gonna. I don't know if anybody in the chat you can see this. That would be the normal. Okay, that's a normal species, and then this is the albino. I don't know how to put it on the actual thing,
So it's a
but
fossorial snake, eh?
I don't even. Almost to me, it looks like a. He said close enough for my pronunciation. For me, this looks more like a skink. I believe it's a three-toed skink. Yeah,
Oh, it's
okay.
a
Yeah, he
skink.
says
Okay,
skink. Yeah. It's a
nice.
four-toed or three-toed skink, and he found an albino in his backyard, which is that's fucking sick.
That is epic.
I wish I knew how to. I'm not good at all this stuff, so I don't know how to put it on the actual screen. So yeah, but that is absolutely fucking sick. But Dustin, continue with Sky's question.
All right, so probably one of my favorite herping experiences is so I've been lucky enough to join the NPR guys on some of the herp trips, and this last Utah trip we took was pretty great. Um, I don't know, just everything about it from like I found. So our first day there, I found a mating pair of pyros in the middle
I
of a
already
trail.
knew you were gonna say that.
Oh man,
I knew you were gonna say that. That was so freaking epic, dude.
So like that's just how we started off the trip, you know. That's first day, just landed. Um, first stop, of the trip, fucking mating pair of pyros. So we're like, hell yeah, this is gonna be a good trip. But then so that weekend we had spent looking for concolor, the midget faded rattlesnake,
Okay.
and I think we hiked like over 50 miles in 2 days,
Sheesh.
bro, and didn't see a single snake.
God. Put in the
damn.
work.
Yeah. Lots of cool lizards, lots of cool memories. Like, still, like, one of my favorite parts of the trip because, like, we're just in crazy ass habitat that looks like a whole nother world,
Oh, I'm
you know,
sure.
fucking living life, hanging out with the homies. But then we rounded out that trip in a different area, and like it just, I think we found all of our targets, but like, uh, the gopher snake that we were looking for, the fucking Great Plains gopher snake. I think that was the only thing we didn't see.
Damn, nice.
Like we even found a lyre snake that I just kind of randomly hiked up.
Damn.
Oh, I remember that. That thing was
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
too. That thing
Which
was
is-
freaking wicked.
Which I guess they're super rare for Utah, you know, and it was an area where like some local guys were like, yeah, we've seen them here before, you know. But
And that's another thing, man. If you can find local people in areas like
Mhm.
that, I'm more than happy to tell you like where these things are because they don't care like you do. Like
yeah,
that's even better. Absolutely. So that was the coolest. It was the scariest that time you thought Brandon about got
oh yeah,
nailed.
yeah, that was definitely like one of the more scary experiences we've had.
Nice. So
I
you
mean,
haven't found like random like children ghost looking things out in the
oh fuck, oh shit, I forgot about
so he's
that.
got one.
Okay,
All right.
yeah, okay, so there's like we got a really good spot for some montane rattlesnakes, and it's next to this. The people that know this spot know this spot. So it's next to like this like abandoned house.
Mhm.
That's so
Oh,
it's on an
those
area where
are
there's
always
like
fun.
an old fucking settlement town or whatever, and then there's like an abandoned house that's pretty modern from like the 70s
Yeah.
or something like that. And you can go on like where like the old like 1800s buildings are, but you can't. You're not supposed to go up to like where the house is at. But we went there at like two
But
o'clock
we
in the
did.
morning,
Oh,
and we had a friend from California like, "Hey, you want to go see some spooky ass shit?" We weren't finding anything, dude. And this house is in the middle of fucking nowhere. And so we're walking around at like 2 o'clock in the morning, shining our lights in there. There's like dolls and shit
fuck
stacked
that.
Oh
up and
God,
like
dude.
all kinds of like weird ass shit. There's like a Bible in the fucking in the kitchen and like
Fuck
it,
that.
it's scary. So I'm showing my friend the dolls, and my friend Alex fucking is looking at all the different rooms, dude, and he just is like, we just hear this huge slam, and he comes fucking hauling ass back in the living room where we're at. We're like, what the fuck's going on? He's like, there's fucking someone in here. And he's like, hello? And just through the hallway, we're here, we're not supposed to be in this fucking house, and blah, blah, blah. And so
Oh,
we book it, dude. The
Oh.
door is like, we have to pass this dude to go out the door. And
oh,
so, like, all the windows are broken out, so we just fucking jump through the window,
oh.
haul ass back to the truck, and fucking fly out of there.
Fuck.
And dude, and so
What?
like, so this dude like kind of barricaded himself into this room. There's like the doors are off their hinges, so he had one door leaned against like the doorway, and another door on top of that. And my friend just kind of pushed it to go in there, and that shit landed on him, and he
Oh,
fucking jumped up. And there's just some random like homeless dude out there in the middle of the fucking woods in this house, dude,
fucking
sleeping in there.
Oh
squatting out
my
there, boy.
God.
That fucking dude.
That's fucking insane.
That's
What?
wild.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
Yeah, dude. Nah, that's like, nah, dude.
That's-
I don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
Nah.
My scariest herb story involves a meth head too, so I can correlate with that fear.
But like, I really wanted to like ask him like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, you're
homeless?
you're
But-
telling us we're not supposed to be here. Okay.
I also wasn't trying to like hang out and talk to him.
no,
Fuck
absolutely not.
You always run. You do not become the white girl in that movie. You get the
No.
fuck out of there, dude. Get the fuck out of there.
Nah, dude. I don't. No. That's.
Oh man.
Oh God.
Yeah,
No, my
Dustin.
my
Dustin
scariest.
says sounds like his day job in Kentucky.
Yeah, I can attest to that, dude. Dustin. Oh God. No. My scariest herp trip involves getting nailed by a Western Diamondback, but that's another story for another time.
Different kind of meth head
Yeah.
bite.
Honestly, I'd probably rather do that again than to run into a fucking meth head in the middle of the
No, I'm gonna pass on that one, bro. I came out unscathed. I'm good. And no medical bills.
Yeah, what was your medical bills after that, Justin?
Probably a lot
Zero.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, dude, that's that's nuts, dude. So there's a at one of the WMAs I go to, there's a house out there. It was, I don't know what it previously was, but there's this old rundown house, and it's now like you're not supposed to like fuck with it at all. It's used for bat conservation. Like bats have taken over this like old rundown house. And I always go over there to see, because there used to be a board I could flip back there. Never found anything, but I always went and flipped it. And now, see, Justin said, "Oh, dude, fuck that house." Like it's creepy, dude. I'm not gonna lie, but it's used for bats now. There's always a board I went and flipped, and the board has degraded now. I went and flipped it. Tried to flip it the other day. I went and picked up a piece, and it just broke. So I was like, "Well, that sucks." But this place is creepy as hell, man. Yeah, he said some Blair Witch shit. Absolutely is. I've never gone inside of it because it's on a WMA, and when it comes to land like that, I try to abide by the rules because it's WMA property. I don't fuck with any of that. I want to be able to keep going to these places. So I've never gone inside of it, obviously, but I always like look in, and there's been a few times because I've found rat snakes by the house before, so I really think rat snakes are going in there and trying to tear up some bats.
Freaking murking those things.
So
bro.
yeah, so I always like look around it, but dude, you look in there, there's like old nasty mattresses inside of it. You look up at the ceiling, there's bats hanging down everywhere. Like it's crazy, dude. But yeah, it's freaky, but I haven't had the cods to actually try and go inside of it. Plus, you can't go to those places at night because the gate's closed. But
You gotta be careful to like going on private property and shit like that too.
oh yeah, private property. We do
Yeah.
not, and for the record, we do not condone the act of going on private property. Just so
definitely not.
everybody knows. Just to
Enter at your
preface.
own risk.
I've been
Yes.
chased off of a couple tree farms in South Florida before at night, and that shit is no fucking
No, dude.
joke, dude. Like,
And
Yeah, so
you'll get
that house-
shot. You'll get
no,
shot.
yeah,
doing
you
that.
want to talk about literally pooping yourself while you're running as fast as you can, trying to clear a barbed wire fence? That shit is real deal.
Trying to clear a barbed wire fence.
Fucking. Oh shit.
yeah, so that house that I was talking about is on private property, and I do gotta say, like, it's kind of sad. So like, we found the spot like a couple years ago, and everything was kind of like in order, and you can just see like, because it's in a pretty recreational area, like a lot of like dirt bikers or like side by side people will, like go by it,
Yeah.
and you can see like some people just fucked it up, and like that just makes the owners want to like close all of that area down, and so we can't hurt that spot anymore. So if you are gonna do that, just be respectful of the people's property, and don't fuck with their shit, don't steal their shit, and
Yeah.
you'll probably have a much better time if you do meet them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like some people, it's always better. Like, obviously, if you're in the middle of fucking Arizona, like, whatever, but yeah, a lot of people, if you tell them you're just looking for snakes, they probably will let you on their property if you can contact somebody like properly and actually have a conversation with them. Like, they may let you on their property, legally, but we never condone trespassing. That's never a good thing. I pretty much hit up all WMAs, public areas, and then private land I do have, access to is, I've been told by the owner I can go there. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. A lot of herpers joke about trespassing and some of them do it, but avoid that at all costs because that's a good way, especially in the Southeast, to get fucking shot. So yeah, just
Here in Arizona too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's so different out there. That's no, nobody. You don't get killed trying to find a lifer. That it's not worth it, because the whole mentality of shoot first, ask questions later is very real in a lot of areas. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah. So moving on from that, that was a great great stories. Love it, Dustin. But moving on from that, Dustin, you're in, you said you're in South Arizona, right?
Yeah, yeah. South. I mean, I'm in Tucson, Arizona, so
Tucson.
South
Okay,
kind of
so
central.
somebody who is either already in your area or looking to herp that area, what advice do you give them for South Arizona herping? What would be a piece of advice?
Yeah, bring water. You
Yeah,
know,
Yeah.
number one tip. It gets hot out here. People die out here. So bring
absolutely.
bring bring more water than you think you're gonna need. Um, Even for like a day hike.
Yeah, for sure.
Protect yourself from the sun. It's pretty fucking gnarly.
Yeah, I can imagine. it's That's nuts, dude.
And then for finding animals, like early mornings and sunset, perfect time. You
Yeah,
can find stuff pretty much all day long, but
you have an easier time at it early,
yeah.
and then yeah, I got you. Good stuff, man. What else? What else we got? All right, so let's um okay, so before we get into kind of the meat and potatoes of what we want to do for this podcast, what advice would you give to somebody that has never really gone herping but wants to start? What would you tell somebody that's never been in the field but they want to try doing it? What would be your main piece of advice?
Yeah, we kind of hit on this topic earlier. It's just get out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, just to get out and
just
and
start
do
doing
it.
it.
Just
For
send
sure.
it.
There's
For
some
sure.
I mean, there's even books on like how to start field herping.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. So definitely, I guess we covered so much. I was like, I'm just going
I,
down my list. I
I
guess
got
we
a,
did already kind of cover that.
I got a couple good wrap up questions since we're getting towards the end, but I got a couple good ones still written down if you want me to hit on one.
Yeah, I mean the main one was, about how has field herping, helped your captive collection, and how has it changed how you do things in your captive collection, because that's a big part of what we want to promote here of, field herping can change your how you keep. So how has it changed your keeping style?
dude, that's so hard. That's such a hard question
But I
because I
know it
mean,
has. I know it has.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I've come to realize that you can't replicate nature.
No, absolutely not.
That's like probably my biggest takeaway is that like I'll never be able to give these animals what they would experience in the wild. Like it's on like the honest truth. Um, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's made me realize that like I don't need such a big reptile collection, and that I can get a lot of fulfillment and enjoyment from just herping. Finding these things from the wild. It's kind of made me like rethink like it's also made me rethink like why I want to keep these animals.
Right,
Like, am I
right.
trying to do this just like it it's pretty easy to get burnt out in the reptile room, and sometimes herping can be that reignition. It can be that spark to
A little
make you
starter.
realize why I love these animals and why I keep reptiles at my house.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a good thing, man. Like I always get like I feel like I don't know if it's the same for y'all, but my slump times are when I can't go herping. Like when I start feeling burnout when I can't get out in the field and it's just collection stuff and I'm busy in the room. Like don't get me wrong, like herping season I'm busier because springtime is herping time, but it's also breeding time if you keep colubrids, and there's a lot more going on. Like you said, Dustin, there's something about being able to get out in the field. It just ignites you, makes you want to do more and do better, as a captive keeper as well, So there's definitely something to be said for that.
Would you say that there's a certain object, like an actual object, whether it be decor or actual substrate item or something that you've found out while herping or found out in your area that you have now it's become a staple in your collection that you use? Because for me, um, when I'm doing my bigger builds and stuff, it's sometimes impractical for me to be sometimes even $1,000 deep into a build, and then be like, oh dang, now I got to go buy a couple $100 worth of substrate. So a lot of times I'll go find either a friend or an area that's a private, untouched land, and go dig for substrate and find wood and leaf litter and sanitize it and clean it myself. And that's just something I bring back for nature, and it's providing, an actual natural touch for the animals. And you can always tell, because when you put it in there, they just go absolutely nuts, and you'll see behaviors that you wouldn't normally see, and it puts a spark back into them. So like, is there anything that you brought back and you use, and once you saw it, put a spark into an animal's eye, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to try this with more stuff?
Yeah, I mean, as I kind of look around my room, I can see pretty much everything has like rock stacks, and I think I'm just trying to create like those gradients
Yeah.
because I mean, because I can't give them what they're gonna experience in the wild. I want to let them like kind of choose what they want, you know.
Yeah.
The temperature gradients, a lot of the stuff here has UV, so UV gradients and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a hard question.
It
I
is,
I
like
asked because I
anybody
see a lot of your
anything.
builds, and you seem like you use a lot of your resources that you could find around you naturally. So
yeah, and I can definitely take a lot of inspiration from stuff like I said, I take a lot of pictures of like rocks,
yeah,
and try
Yeah.
to just make that when I get home.
yeah, because a lot of your rock stacks look like a rock stack you would see while you're out herping. So it's like,
Oh yeah, and
clearly,
I don't buy wood or
no,
rocks,
yeah,
I just go
clearly
out and
you're
collect that shit.
clearly you see something you like, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I know this lizard or this snake
Hmm.
could use
And
this
dude, it's
just
great.
like
Like
this.
manzanita wood grows wild here, and there's a lot of areas where you can collect it legally.
Oh
And
yeah,
I just like I'll fill up the back of the truck, bring it home, and I've got wood for a couple months.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
I might have to just come drive out to see you so I can load my truck up and drive back.
And that's that also goes to be said about I'm not saying you should, I'm not saying it's wrong to not, but like keeping stuff that's local to you gives you a whole new perspective on things. And as far as down to like the substrate, like me being a rat snake guy, I love my yellow rats. Guess what? Yellow rats are local to me. So like I see the habitat that they're in. I see the environment that they thrive in, and the type of habitat that they really, that I find a lot of them in. So
Like
I can
literally, you
it's easier for you to not replicate, like Dustin said. It's hard. You can't replicate nature,
But
but
it's easier to get that inspiration.
exactly. You get inspiration for different enclosures, things you want to do in your enclosure builds because you see them in your local areas, how they act better. The more and more time you spend in the field, the more you're going to know about these animals and know how they act. And then you can try and replicate those natural behaviors in your enclosures at home,
you know what would be a cool challenge for you, Jake, specifically? Even if it wasn't like a couple week challenge, even if it was like a couple month challenge, since you're a locality guy
Mhm.
and a lot of your stuff is local to you, you should legit catch your own locality or whatever you're the next locality you catch, and wherever you're at, collect all of your items for its enclosure in the exact place that you caught it, and set its enclosure up. So not only do you have a locality snake, you have a locality enclosure for your snake with
That's
all the items from the location.
That'd actually be kind of cool, because like we don't want to promote a bunch of collecting here, but like as locality people, we do collect occasionally when it's legal, and certain species that it's okay to collect, stuff like that. But like, yeah, that's actually really cool. So like with I did collect, a rat snake from your neck of the woods, but I also collected a ton of pine cones from that area. So now I
Yeah.
have a whole backpack full of longleaf pine cones in my closet still.
Well, that's
And
like Dustin or Preston, dude. He literally got the water snake and collected
yeah,
all the duckweed, all the driftwood and everything, and then set up that sick little river terrarium for that thing, and
yeah,
it looked just like where the snake came from. So
yeah. That's a good idea. If you find a snake if you decide to keep it, grab some stuff from where it was at.
Right where you're
know?
at. You know what it's
Yeah,
using because
that's
you
cool.
just caught it on those exact items. So you know what it likes. It's right there for you.
Yeah, I like that for sure. So moving on from that, Scott asked a question. It kind of goes into one of the questions I was going to ask. What Scott asked, what is the toughest species you have chased and found, and what is your holy grail? And our question was going to be, do you have a life or species you're targeting this year, and then like new areas you want to go? So, like, what's your holy grail in general, and then targets for say this year, and then new areas that you might want to check out?
All right, so last year I spent a good majority of the year looking for vine snakes, and dude, it was end of the day again, like usual, and just out of nowhere, like, so I'm looking up in the trees, looking for vine snakes, and out of nowhere, dude, out of a bush that's like ankle high, this snake just shoots out, and I fucking grab it by the end of the tail, but I also grab a bunch of grass, so it slips out and goes straight down the hole.
Uh,
And I'm like 90% sure it was a vine snake
yeah,
after I spent weeks, and my work schedule kind of worked out where I could spend like a couple of 8-hour days out there a week.
yeah.
And I was doing that for like a solid 2 months.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just grinding, And yeah, so that's gonna be another big target this year, I think.
Vine snakes.
I hope you
Nice.
get those, man. We got to go check those out if I come down, man. I want to get one of
Dude, the
those.
habitat's tight,
I want to,
it's
yeah. It's like right out in the freaking desert bushlands and shit, right?
yep,
Right next to the border.
yep.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, is there what I guess does that include like the toughest species you've chased and technically
Um,
found? It was
so
quick.
far, yeah. I don't really count it because I didn't get
You
100%
didn't
ID
grab it.
on what
Yeah,
it was.
for sure.
But yeah, that's definitely been my toughest species so far.
And what's your holy grail?
Um, I
White
mean,
whale, if you would.
right now
Even
those are
if
my
you found it, even if you found it.
green rats were my white whale for a while. That took like 2 years of really intense looking to find
Yeah.
those. Um,
I'm so jealous of that,
Yeah,
dude.
green rats
Holy
are epic,
shit.
man.
That's
dude, they're
oh,
great. I got a
those
couple of
are so cool.
I got a captive bred pair in my collection, and like those definitely some of my like top three favorite snakes.
Dude, I would really invest in some if I thought they would do well here, but I
Hmm.
feel like they won't. Although I got a buddy who keeps them in Florida and he's doing all right, with them, but I worry about the humidity out here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but God, dude, those things are so sick. They're so awesome.
This year I don't know. I might venture to like into New Mexico and see what I can
Okay.
find around there. I'd like to get down there a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I really want to do Texas. I really want to do South Texas and West Texas.
Hell yeah. Gotta
That's
get some
not. I mean,
Alterna.
yeah, West Texas is like a 9-hour drive for me, so I just need to go do it.
Dude, you gotta hit up Chris Painchab, man. He likes going to
Yeah,
West
no.
Texas.
So it's like the middle between me and him. Like
There you
we've
go. I
talked
mean,
about it
come
before.
on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I know he says it's like an 8-hour ride for him, but that's going to work in Texas. So you may as you know
Yeah.
you gotta link up with him, man. Yeah, that's a big one for me too. I would love to get out. I've got so many like far away areas I want to hit. Your area. I want to herp Arizona so fucking bad, dude. It's driving me nuts. But I want to hit Arizona and West Texas so bad, dude. That would be amazing.
Dude, Arizona's the best.
It is, man. I'm not gonna. I'm a southeastern guy. I love our southeastern species, but I'm a big fan of rattlesnakes, and there's a whole lot of rattlesnakes I cannot see here. So I got to get out to
Oh
your
yeah.
area, and see some of those, man. I've been reading. Yeah, Phil sent me a it's called Rattlesnakes of North America. He sent me it for one of our Christmas exchanges, several years ago, and I actually just started reading it, and it hit on. I've already read through all the, all the Montane stuff y'all have, the rock rattlesnakes, twin spots and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh God, like I gotta get out there, dude. I gotta see them.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Have you found all of those rattlesnakes, the twin spots?
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
yeah, definitely.
found them all easy.
I found all of them in like a weekend before.
Oh my God.
I see people on YouTube do like a 72-hour challenge where they try to find like all the rattlesnakes and shit out in Arizona and stuff. Man, we definitely got to do it.
That's crazy. I've got the only southwestern rattlesnake I have really are western diamondbacks, and those found me too. But it was funny actually. I found the weekend I got bit. It was nuts. We found a big one, massive. This thing was like, it was a big snake, dude, and it was crazy seeing the difference between those and the cane breaks I'd mess with around here, because cane breaks, I'd take them off the not the WMA, the plantation I worked at, because it was either I take them or they kill them. Low key, I released them like right by the plantation, so like they could still survive, type of thing.
Yeah.
But I would bag them up to make it look nice, and they were always like 9 out of 10 of them were really, really calm. I could lower them into a bag, basically no hook, drop them in. Didn't make a sound. And then I went out to Texas when I was living there, found a western diamondback, and I got 10 feet from this thing, and it's standing up and just singing, dude, just pissed, and so I found a lot of those. And I found a group of babies, which was wild. I got into an area, it was like this little open patch spot, and I found a baby western. And I was like, oh shit, like, that's really cool. I was kind of messed with it. And I look over, there's another one. I was like, oh, I look over, there's another one over there, another one over here, another one there. And they're all just like little landmines.
Yeah, you're just like,
curled up in a perfect circle. Like,
don't move.
Yeah. So those are the only like western species I've ever found. I was hoping to find some other stuff while I was out there in Texas, but I definitely want to get out to your area, Dustin, and find some of those amazing little montane stuff.
So, dude, I mean, it's a blast,
Yeah. It sounds like me and Sky got to plan a trip now.
It's some of the coolest habitat you see. Like just driving from the desert up the mountain and just like pass through like 5 different ecosystems on your way up.
Yeah. I want to do that and just stop and hike all the different ones, even if we're not finding stuff, just to be in it.
Yeah.
Definitely got to work that out sometime soon, man.
So while you're talking about that really quick, is there any dream locations for herping outside of the United States that you want to try to make happen in the next 5 years?
Well, my number one spot is like Mexico, which can be a little sketchy, but I'm fucking down, down the cloud.
I'm down,
We're down with ICP, bro.
You can't find out if you don't fuck around,
Yeah. I mean, that's my number one spot. I mean, Australia would be cool. But I want to go to Australia for geckos.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Like the pythons would be cool, but I want to see some Nephris and Strophrus in the wild.
Hell yeah.
Because you keep knobtails, don't you?
We got a couple species here.
Nice.
Yeah, and a couple species of Strophrus.
Yeah.
Nice. That's sick,
lizards really do like have my heart. So
4-legged freaks for life, bro.
Hell yeah.
Fucking weirdos.
Snakes are cool, but
nah. Oh, there you go, Dustin. Scott says, standing invite, Dustin, I will hook you up.
Hell yeah.
So when it comes to that, Scott, it sounds like all 3 of us need
I was
to
about
make
to
an
say, Scott,
Australia trip. So
if you're inviting him, I'm going to be in his backpack. So.
Yeah, I think I can squeeze in there too. So
we can go in there like a little freaking infinite, or what is it called? The yin and yang symbol.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome, man. A Flippin Tin trip to Australia. Scott said, all you guys for sure. Let's go, baby.
Dude, I wouldn't even come
that'd be
home.
tight. I want to do some Europe stuff, like some European stuff too.
And see, we got a guy for that too. Nipper, he's a
Yeah,
guy
dude,
that he,
I want to go see Nipper and
dude,
go
I
find
want to see. I want to
some
see Nipper
adders.
so bad. Yeah, he's definitely hit me up. Back a couple years ago. He's like, dude, the only expensive part is getting here. He's like traveling around. He's like, it's cheap. It's like it's cheap to travel around and see a bunch of cool areas, to fly and all that. So, that Europe is definitely. I think Europe is one of the most underrated herping areas.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, because Nipper, I actually was just listening to Venom Exchange Radio today, and Nipper went over all the European venomous species, and I was like, oh, dude. I want to see a lot of that shit. I want to see all of it,
Yeah.
It's cool. And I think Nipper's definitely a guest I want to get on here soon to talk about, and Scott too. Scott and Nipper are probably my two like out of country herpers that I want to get on like ASAP to talk about herping those areas. Scott obviously, being an amazing herper out in Australia, the Nipper being one of the very few people that have found every species of snake in Europe. Like that's insane. So. Sounds like an Australia trip is gonna be in the future, boys. We gotta make it happen.
Yeah, it might just be a one-way ticket for my ass.
He said, "I'm not coming back.
I ain't coming back. I won't even pack my clothes. Just one change of clothes, a ticket. That's it. That's all I need. And my Flippin Tin cap.
That's right, man. That's you gotta have the Flippin Tin cap. But awesome, man. So, Dustin, any closing remarks for everybody listening? We tried to hit any questions anybody had, but you have any closing remarks for all of our listeners on here as far as herping and keeping any of it?
I guess it's kind of the whole theme of this episode, but just get out there and go herp.
Yeah, man.
You're not gonna find shit sitting at home.
Nope. You're not gonna find shit sitting in your room, sitting in a hotel. None of that. You got to get out there and try, man.
I try to herp like situationally. I'll be on vacation and be like, I'm gonna go hike real quick. I'll be back. I'll be back in 45 minutes.
That's my plan. So I've got we're doing a family like my parents, my sisters, my brother, we're all going on a vacation to Tennessee this year, and we're going to be up in the mountains. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to dip off for a while.
Oh yeah,
at least a couple times while I'm out there. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go walk around and explore. Meanwhile, I've got my snake hook and I'm flipping stuff.
Dude, the worst comes to worst, you find some sick salamanders out there too. Up in Tennessee.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm stoked for that. But yeah, man, those situational herps, man, the herping times can definitely provide, man. You're in a new area, just go out and walk.
Never know what the fruits of your labor could give you.
That's right. Well, thank you everybody who tuned in for the live. That was awesome. Everybody, chimed in a lot. So appreciate y'all. And just a reminder, we have Flippin Tin gear available. So me and Sky are both wearing our hats and we got our shirts available. So if you want any of those, make sure, try not to, if you message us personally, that's fine. We'll work it out, but try to message the Flippin Tin page itself. That way me and Sky can both keep track of everything. And if you're interested, just hit us up, send us all your info. They're $30 a piece, $30 for a hat, $30 for a shirt. That includes shipping. And again, that's not for us. We're not making any money off of this. This is literally just to get it to you guys. So definitely hit us up, and we'll work all that out. All the gear is awesome, and it's pretty much guaranteed to help your herping endeavors. So
60% of the time, it works every time.
Exactly. So definitely hit us up if you're interested in any of that. And hit up Dustin if you have some more herping questions, or how he keeps. we've known Dustin for God, man. I feel like I've known you for like what 4 years now, at least at this point.
Yeah, at least, you know,
Yeah. So
4 or 5 years.
yeah, Dustin's been a wealth of information for a long time. So he's an avid herper. He was our man.
Hey,
He was our
I am
man of
no
the year
expert.
for
2022, right?
2022. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's right
Yeah.
up there.
Oh yeah, you got the plaque up there. That's right.
Hell yeah.
He was our man of the year for a reason. He's a great guy. He does awesome shit. His page is fantastic. So Dustin, where
Follow
can, if people want to follow you, look at what all you're doing, where can they hit you up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm no expert by any means, but I like to mess around with some lizards. If you want to message me about anything, just gecko.sphere on Instagram. I have a Facebook, but it's just my personal Facebook, so
Yeah.
let's see. You won't see too many animal things there.
Yeah, there you go.
Follow his Instagram, you guys. It's a good page to follow. Bunch
You're
of
missing
cool
you're
stuff.
missing out if you're not, for one, and for two, if you don't, you live under a fucking rock.
Yeah. So many cool species, man.
Yeah, it's pretty dead right now. I've been pretty busy with the collection, but herping season is about to start, so I post a lot of my pictures there.
It's dead. It's dead for everybody right now, man. It's that off season, but man, it's close. It's so
Spring's about
close.
to
I
sprung.
can feel it in my
Oh yeah, dude,
in my genitals. Like it's right
I
there.
might have a couple gravid snakes here, so things have been busy.
Dude, I
Hell
saw
yeah.
your Geni were locked up.
Yes, sir.
Come on now.
Yeah, I can feel follicles in her, like 6 or 7 follicles. So
Oh, dude, that's
hopefully those go. Those are like kind of like what I'm focusing on the most this year.
nice.
Hell yeah.
That's so awesome, man. I'm so jealous that. So I have a sibling to the pair that you have. Like I have a male, and you got the only fucking
Yes,
pair
sir.
that Chris let out that year. So I was like, fuck, dude. Like I've got my male. He's so much bigger than everybody else. I have a female from the year before or the year after. And then I have a pair from the year after because Chris sent me a female and then Justin gave me the male. So I've got those. And then I got a pair from 23. And so super stoked. But he's about to pull them out. Let's go.
Beautiful, bright
Oh,
snake.
yeah, baby.
Good Lord.
I only have the pair, but dude, these are such cool snakes. They're so chill.
They're the coolest fucking snakes, man.
God dang, dude.
I know this is a field herping show, but goddamn, if you don't keep Jani, you need to change that right now.
For real.
Pitiophis, Depii, Jani, baby. Like they are fantastic.
I'm scared to put my hands on those, man, because as soon as I do, I'm gonna fucking need one.
I'm telling
this
you,
is
dude.
this is my male, dude, and he's always out, just like checking out what's going on in the room. Always
Straight
just trying to
chilling.
see what I'm doing.
You're making me want to grab mine, man. Mine's a lot. My male's a lot smaller than that, just because like I didn't push them to grow because I didn't have a pair. My female's catching up to him now, but
Well, I was picking out a male, and Chris is like, "Which one do you want?" I was like, "I don't know. They're all kind of, I mean, they're ugly when they hatch out." I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, this is the biggest. This one's like almost double the size out of all the other ones." I was like, "Fuck it,
I'll
send
take that one.
Send it.
That's awesome, man.
That
Yeah,
thing's
I'm up to 3.2 on Jani right now.
damn."
Those are oh god, dude. If I could only keep one, I have a lot of Pitiophis. If I could only keep one Pitiophis, it would be Jani.
Yeah, and that weird one that Chris hatched out was from that clutch.
Yeah, exactly.
So he told me if any weird ones hatch out, let him know.
Yeah, I did. Let me know too, buddy. I love them so much. I'm really hopeful for you this season on those, dude. That's fucking sick. You sent pictures of those things locking up, and I was like, oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
oh yeah,
Snake sex.
yeah. No, dude, I love my Jani. But well, this has been episode 3 of Flippin Tin. This has been awesome. I think we absolutely killed it for our first episode with a guest. Dustin, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I know we had to kind of work out some of the time things. I know you're cutting it close with your work and stuff, so we super appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come bullshit with us. So this has been an awesome.
Thank you, dude.
No, I appreciate you guys. This was fun.
Yeah, man. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
we're glad. We're trying to change it up a little bit. There's been a lot of people we had on, on like THB and stuff that we focused on their captive collections, but they were herpers, and I'm like, I want to talk herping more. So this is the platform to do that. So super stoked to have you on to focus more on that, man. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, and now that we've had you on, if you do, once you start getting out in the field, now that spring's hitting, dude, I know we'll end up talking about it, but if you do write in the page, we'll end up bringing it up on the pod just since everyone knows who you are now, and keep tabs on everyone's herping throughout the year so we can keep sharing the stories and, keep everyone in tune with what's going on across the nation, what stuff's moving and what's getting caught.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for
Definitely.
sure. And again, that's our challenge for the next 2 weeks, y'all, is it's going to be the same as last week since everything's kind of slow for most people. But if you get out in the field, try to get out in the field, even if it's cold, and just observe and then write us in, man. We want to talk about what's happening all over the US. We got listeners fucking everywhere. So if you get out there, please write us in. We want to talk about it, and just see what everybody's going on, especially if you find a herp, no matter what it is. I don't care if it's a turtle. I don't care if it's a frog. Frogs are out. I don't care where you're at. You're going to find some frogs.
Yeah, I found a couple of frogs so far.
Yeah, I found a lot of frogs. I actually found a cricket frog while I was out in a couple weeks ago. So that was sick. I love cricket frogs, man.
I haven't seen one in a minute.
Dude.
That's one thing we do lack.
Frogs.
You like frogs?
Amphibians. Yeah.
A little dry.
We got some cool ass toads and actually a few different species of tree frogs, but
yeah. That's one thing we have no shortage of here is frogs.
We'll trade you for the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, right.
I think I'll keep those.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my porch toads to come back, and I'm gonna pull a Harry Claiborne and
start
get
feeding
some get some mealworms and superworms. Start feeding my toads on the porch, and see if I can't get some make some toad friends. But awesome. Well, this has been episode 3 of Flippin Tin. Thank you everybody who joined in the chat. This has been awesome. Definitely had some good conversation on here. And if you're listening after the live, we really appreciate it. You could be listening to anybody, but you're listening to us, and it's very much appreciated. We're trying to make this a real thing. So definitely keep on. We love it. Appreciate it. And hit us up if you have any stories. Hit us up if you want some gear. We'll hook you up. And yeah.
And if we're missing anything that we haven't touched on that you guys are using or whatever, write us in so we can talk about it, because we're trying to touch on everything.
Absolutely. So on that note, everybody get out and flip some tin.
Peace.
Peace out. Thank y'all.